Alright, hi again. I'm teacher Justin, and yesterday we talked about some expressions like saying how are you in a different way, like what's up. So now we're going to continue with our expressions. I have here around 20, 10, let's see how many expressions we can study for today. Alright, let's begin. The first expression for today is, could you do me a favor? Okay. When do we usually say, can you do me a favor? We say, can you do me a favor when you're asking for a request from someone. If you want them, for example, to help you out with something, you say, could you do me a favor? Like, for example, you want your friend to help you to carry your things. You can say, could you do me a favor? And then if they say yes, you can say your request. Like, can you please carry this for me? Like that. Is it clear? Questions? Okay. I have here a dialogue between A and B using this expression, could you do me a favor? Okay? So this is letter A speaking. So letter A says, could you do me a favor? And the letter B replied, sure, what is it? And then letter A can now say his or her favor. It is, could you get me a drink? So in here, letter A asks letter B for a drink. Because letter B says, sure, then he went along saying his request. Is it clear? Questions? Okay, let's proceed. Our next expression is, you say this when you think something is unusual. You say, so when you think there is something unusual happening, something that is weird or worthy of doubt, you say, something fishy is going around here. Like for example, you enter into a room and then suddenly everyone became quiet. The room was silent for a moment. And then you can say, what's going on? Something fishy is going around here. Clear? Okay, here is the dialogue between A and B. See at the back. Okay, letter A. Something fishy is going around here. This is letter B. Really? What do you mean? And then letter A can say his or her observation of what he thinks is fishy or of what he thinks is weird. In here, this is letter A's answer. It seems a little strange that you and the other employees are pretending like you have no idea about the coffee machine exploding this morning. Again, so if letter A says something fishy is going around here, letter B can answer, really, what do you mean? And then letter A can answer, it just seems a little strange that you and the other employees are pretending like you have no idea about the coffee machine exploding this morning. Right, so are we clear with something fishy is going around here? Let's continue with the next one. The next one is, where can I freshen up? where can I freshen up? When do you think we say this expression? We say this when we want to go to the bathroom to check ourselves. Like for the ladies out there, you can say, where can I freshen up? When you want to go to the bathroom to check your makeup or to check if you still look presentable, if you still are, well, looking good. So you can say this and then you go to a bathroom or somewhere where you can wash your face, check your makeup. And for the men, well, men usually do not say this expression, but they can, I guess, sometimes. Okay, so I have here a conversation between A and B. A says, after traveling from Korea, I would like to go to the bathroom. And then B replied, yeah, me too. Where can I freshen up? Okay, so are we clear with freshen up? Questions? Okay, let's proceed. Our next expression, you usually say this when you are busy. I'm tied up at the moment. Okay? This expression suggests that you cannot go or you cannot leave what you are doing. Or simply, you could say you are busy. Okay? When we say I'm tied up at the moment, you're busy. You have a lot of things to do, and when someone is trying to call you, you can say, I'm sorry, I cannot go there. I'm tied up at the moment. So here is a dialogue between A and B. Lisa, could you get me a cup of milk coffee? And then B can answer, I'm sorry, I'm tied up at the moment with a customer. So meaning in here, she cannot leave the customer. Maybe it's because they are still having a transaction. Maybe they are still doing business. Okay? So that is when we say the expression, I'm tied up at the moment. Clear? Questions? Alright. So let's continue with our next expression. The next expression is, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. When do you think we usually say this expression? That you are just kidding? Yeah, we say, I'm just kidding when you say something that can hurt someone, but it's just a joke. It's nothing serious. Or when you say something and people assume or thinks that it is what you actually mean, or it is in fact something that is true, say, I'm just kidding, it's not true. Okay? Like for example, your friend comes out of her room, she looks well dressed up, with makeup on, wearing high heels, and you can tell her, oh, you look so ugly today. Of course, she will feel a little sad, but then you could say, I'm just kidding, you look very good today. Like that. Okay? Here's a dialogue for that one. A and B. So A says, why do you always say mean things about me? And then B replied, I'm just kidding. So when someone says, I'm just kidding, the things that they said before should not be taken seriously, because for them it's just a joke. Okay? Clear? Questions? Okay. So I think we should continue with the next expression. Our next expression is keep this conversation between you and me. When do you think we say this expression? Just keep this conversation between you and me. Yes, we say this expression when you told someone a secret or what you talk about is something that you don't want other people to know. You say, keep this conversation between you and me. Like for example, I say, you know, I really don't like the food in the cafeteria, but do not tell others, okay? Let's just keep this conversation between you and me. Meaning no other person can know it. It's just the person whom you are talking to and you are supposed to know about it. It's a secret. Okay, so here's a dialogue between A and B. My friend told me that your professor is really cute and you are dating him. And then B answered, yes, but let's keep this conversation between you and me. I don't want my friend knowing that we talked. Okay, so in here, we know that it's not right for a professor to date a student. So, letter B said, let's keep this conversation between you and me. Let's keep it a secret so that no one will know it. Let's hide that. Okay, is it clear? Questions? Okay, can we move on to the next expression? Okay, so the next one is, we use this when you're trying to remember a person's name, but it's difficult. You have it in your head, but you cannot say it. It's like you forgot it, but not really. Weird, huh? Okay, let's study. I have his name right on the tip of my tongue. Okay. When do you think we say this expression? Hey, we say, I have his name right on the tip of my tongue when you're trying to recall a person's name. You know it, but you just can't say it. Have you ever experienced that? Like when you're trying to remember a name, but you just can't say it. Like, you know, first letter is A. No, first letter is B. Then you say, I know his name. I have it in the tip of my tongue. Okay? Questions? Okay? Now let's go to the dialogue. Between A and B again. Letter A says, do you know the name of the man who sings My Girl? And the letter B answered, oh, I have his name right on the tip of my tongue. Just can't remember. So when a friend asks you, do you know our professor before? The one who taught us English. And then you can say, oh, I know her name. I have it on the tip of my tongue. Clear? Questions? Okay. So let's go to the next one. But before that, excuse me for a while. I'm just gonna erase the writing on the board. Okay, so could you do me a favor? Let's have a little recap. When do we say, could you do me a favor? Yes, we say this when we're asking for a request or for a hand from a person or someone. Okay, how about the next one? Something fishy is going around here. Yes, we say this when there is something unusual, something worthy of doubt. We say something fishy is going around here. How about the next one? Where can I freshen up? We use this when we want to check our expression, our face in the bathroom, to check our makeup. Yeah, okay? How about the next one? I'm tied up at the moment. We use this when we are busy and you cannot leave something that you are doing. I'm tied up at the moment. Then the next one is I'm just kidding. It means that it's just a joke. I'm not serious about it. Followed by, keep this conversation between you and me. Meaning, no other person can know it. It's just between us. Okay? And the last one is, I have his name right on the tip of my tongue. When you're trying to remember a name, or when someone asks you about a name that you can't remember, but you know that you knew that before. So if you're trying to guess a girl's name, you can change his to, yes, you can change his to her. Okay, just a second. So we're done with those expressions. Let's now go to the next one. Next one is knock it off. Knock it off with exclamation point. When do you think we use this expression? When do you think we say or we tell someone to knock it off? We say knock it off when we want someone to stop what they're doing. Like for example, you're watching TV, you're watching television, and then your younger siblings keep on playing in front of you, and you can't concentrate on what you're watching. So you can say, knock it off. It's another expression or another way of saying stop it. Okay? So it's knock it off. Here is a dialogue between A and B. Knock it off, would you stop that? And then B answered, why? I thought you liked me tickling you. So in this dialogue, B is tickling A and A doesn't like it. So he or she can say, knock it off, stop that. It's not fun. Okay? Clear? Questions? Okay, let's continue with the next one. The next one is I've got no choice. When do you think we say I've got no choice? Yes, when you were forced to do something because there is no other way of doing it, or when you don't have any selection, no choices, when you have to stick to one. Say, I've got no choice. Okay? So here is a dialogue between A and B. You should really thought carefully about your decision to study. Then B answered, yes, but I've got no choice. I mean, my major requires it in order to graduate. Okay? Again, this is the conversation between A and B. You should really have thought carefully about your decision to study in Germany. Then B answered, yes, but I've got no choice. I mean, my major requires it in order for me to graduate. So she cannot graduate if she won't go to Germany. So she has no choice. She really has to do it. I've got no choice but to move on to the next expression. And our next expression is he's narrow-minded. When do you think we say this expression? He's narrow-minded. Okay, we say he's narrow-minded when he only sticks on what he believes. And what he believes, that is right, even though sometimes it's not. And he cannot accept other people's opinion. He only sees what he thinks is correct and what he perceives as the right thing, or the right opinion, or the right answer. We can say he's narrow-minded. Have you met a narrow-minded person? And you can say this. You're narrow-minded. Okay, so here is a dialogue. You say the expression narrow-minded. This is letter A. I really wish that he would understand gay people more. And the letter B, well, you know, he's pretty narrow-minded about that issue. So in this dialogue, letter A wants the other person to understand gay people. But letter B says that he's narrow-minded, that his mind is already closed about that issue. Is it clear? Questions? Okay, so let's continue. Our next expression is look on the bright side. Bright side. What do you think this means? We say this when we want people to look at the positive side of things. When a lot of things are going wrong, there are a lot of bad things happening, and then a person feels down, feels sad about it. You can say to him or her, look on the bright side, meaning there's another side to everything, right? You might look at the things that are happening about you as something negative, but sometimes we just fail to notice the positive or the bright side of things. So here is a dialogue between A and B. Look on the bright side of things. You could have been run over by a truck. Yeah, oh God, thanks. So in here, in the first dialogue, person B could have been run over by a truck, but maybe because she wasn't able to go there, she survived, she lived. But she has to look on the bright side. Okay? And here is another, a little dramatic dialogue between A and B. A says, look on the bright side. But B answered, what bright side? There is no bright side. So in here, letter B, you can notice that he or she is really feeling negative or having negative thoughts on the thing that is happening around him or her. Because she thinks there's no bright side anymore. There's no positive side of the things that is happening around him or her. So she says, there's no bright side. Clear? Questions? Okay, so shall we continue on with our next expression? Okay, so here is our next expression. Forget about it. When do you think we use this expression? Forget about it. Okay, so first I'm going to read to you the dialogue between A and B. So, letter A, sorry about losing your house keys. And the letter B says, forget about it. I have a spare ones in my car. What do you think? Yeah, we say forget about it when it doesn't matter anymore. So you just forget about it. Like, you don't have to worry about it, don't think about it. Just forget about it. Okay? Don't let it bother you anymore. Just like on the conversation or the dialogue between A and B. A is apologizing because he or she lost the house key, but B says forget about it because she still has, or he still has, a spare one in the car. Clear? Questions? None? Okay. So let's go to the next one. He's weird. When do you think we say a person is weird? Yes, but a person usually does a lot of unusual things, like things that normal people will not do. You can say a person is weird. Or for example, someone dress the unusual way. Like they have a very different sense of fashion. Like they wear gowns even if they're just at home. We say sweet. Just a person who's usually different and very unusual. Okay? Tell them that they're weird. Okay, here is a dialogue between A and B. He's weird. And then B answers, yeah, I think he seems like a pretty untypical guy. Meaning, a guy who you will not see every day. Like he's very unusual. He's not the usual guy. So, are we clear with this one? Questions? Okay, so excuse me for a while. So, just a fast review. Knock it off. We say this when we want a person to stop whatever they are doing, especially if it bothers you. And then I've got no choice, meaning there's no way to do things. You have to do it. I've got no choice. He is narrow-minded when he cannot open up his mind to other opinions. He doesn't want to accept other people's opinions, ideas. He's narrow-minded. The next one is Look on the bright side, meaning look at the positive side of things.